Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
Welcome to another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast. We go over some of the most exciting stories and posts shared on our website over at Stack3d.com from the past 7 days. As per usual, we were loaded with work last week. Plenty of new products, plenty of new releases shared. And we're going to kick this episode off with news from MTS Nutrition. Now, MTS Nutrition is the brand from Mark Lobline over at Tiger Fitness, which has been around for a number of years now and always produces some pretty good stuff. The announcement that came this week actually is in regards to both MTS Nutrition, his supplement brand, and Mark Lobline's functional food brand, Outright. Now, Outright is another big brand that's just been exploding this past year with plenty of new products, plenty of new innovation, a lot of which have been focused around the Outright protein bar, the delicious Outright protein bar made with only real food ingredients. Now, anyway, so the news we have is that for Black Friday, which is going down later this month on November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving, which also leads into Cyber Monday, which is the Monday following, MTS and Outright Nutrition, they're dropping exclusive flavors for the big Black Friday event. They'll be available from Tiger Fitness as far as we know, and it's going to see an exclusive flavor. These are only flavors that only been made for Black Friday. It's going to be one for Machine Fuel, which is the MTS Nutrition Amino, one for Machine Whey, which is the MTS Nutrition Protein Powder, which is was one of our previous winners of the Protein Wars. And then we're also going to get a new flavor for the Outright Protein Bar. So it is going to be a pretty jam-packed Black Friday for Mark Lobline and his brands this year. We've seen them, I think last year they did an exclusive flavor. I can't quite remember the name. I know they've done it before, but they've never done this much with two exclusive flavors, and then another one for Outright. So it's going to be a big year. Of course, we'll share details when they're revealed, and we'll obviously have details on when they'll launch, because knowing Mark Lobliner and Tiger Fitness, these won't just be special edition flavors that you're about to buy at the regular price. He'll probably have a deal on or something, if not a stack or a bundle with all of them in it. But stay tuned at the website for more info on that. We go from Mark Lobliner and his two brands over to a very well-established company who is available all over the world right now. And this is HaloTop, and we actually shared news from them from the UK in our last episode with their awesome new collections. And so the news this week is a little less exciting, a little less happy. It's in regards to the HaloTop scoop shops. Now, if you don't know what that is, the HaloTop scoop shop was like a concept the company launched a couple years back. It is basically an ice cream stall or an ice cream retail location that serves up HaloTop's ice cream in regular scoop form or soft serve. And you could get pretty much whatever you could imagine, really. They had sundaes, they had scoops, ice cream cones, and a number of different things you could do and you could make at these little scoop shops. But the more exciting or the even more fun part was that you could throw on whatever toppings you had, and they didn't just have their healthy toppings. They had nuts, they had chocolate sprinkles, they had chocolate pieces, it's pretty much like your regular ice cream shop, but HaloTop themed, HaloTop twist to it. And so the news this past week was that they're closing them down. They permanently closed. They didn't really give an explanation. They just said closed. And that was it. And so if you didn't get the chance to visit one, they're pretty damn cool. We had the opportunity to go to the opening of, I believe it was the third one, not too long ago. And all of them were in Los Angeles, and we went to the one at the Grove Mall, and it was huge. It was awesome seeing the opening. They had influencers. They had a big old setup right in front. It was pretty cool, and it was a good thing to experience, and it was a very unique concept and creative idea. So we're glad we got to kind of experience that piece of HaloTop history. But if you missed out, it's a sad day or a sad week, because they ain't around anymore. Hopefully they do some more creative stuff. In fact, HaloTop have been known to do that with their pop-ups that they've done overseas, and the plenty of things that we've seen them do in terms of collaborations with products. So it's certainly not the end of the exciting stuff from Halo Top. Our next story involves another major company, and that is Cellucor, who basically announced this past week that it's coming out with its next Project Clear Evolution product. Now, if you missed the first one, this was the C4 Extreme that they launched a few months back, and now it's a part of the Project Clear Evolution series. The C4 Extreme was the first one, and they did say more were coming, but we haven't really seen or heard anything more. And now we're kind of getting a glimpse of that second Project Clear Evolution product. Now, every product in this series is intended to have more transparency in terms of labeling and have no artificial colors and flavors. And so it's a big shift for the brand, and it's going to contain a number of supplements, but right now it's just the C4 Extreme. And this past week, Cellucor announced that we're getting the second one, which from what we can tell is a new version of C4 Ultimate, which is their most advanced, most hardcore pre-workout they have. A personal favorite of mine, just purely because you know what you're getting. It's reliable. It's one of the available all around the world. It's got the same formula as well, so it's a good pre-workout, and they're basically releasing a Project Clear Evolution version. Now, I don't know what this entails outside of the fact that, again, because it's part of that series, it's going to have more transparency and no artificial colors and flavors. But we'll find out more as the weeks come on, because it sounds like this product is coming very, very soon. Cellucor does tend to move pretty quickly with teasers. They don't leave you hanging for too long. So more details on that. Again, stay tuned to the site, and you'll be informed on that when we have details for them. Now our next story is from the team over at MuscleTech, the giant, the multi all over the world brand MuscleTech, who basically unveiled a product that's going to be available this coming week. I believe it's going to be in all their usual stores and stockists. They said the stock was going to be arriving this week, so I'm not sure if it'll be out and available this week, but it will be arriving. And what it is exactly is a new protein powder called IsoWay Clear. Now, this is a trend that we've kind of seen from a few companies already this year, with basically a fruitier, refreshing flavored protein powder. It's a step away from the more traditional milky flavors like your chocolate, your vanilla, your strawberry. It's more crisp, like I guess you'd get with aminos and pre-workouts and those kinds of flavors. This isn't something we hadn't seen before this year. It's just something that a lot of brands have been jumping on. Dymatize did it. MyProtein did it. There was another one that did it as well. Not coming to mind. But there's a few that we've seen do it, and MuscleTech is the latest to kind of get in on the action with pretty much it's as pure as and clear as their other product, NitroTech Ice Away, with the same name, IsoWay. It's made with 100% whey isolate. You get 22 grams of protein per serving. Outside of the protein, it's a pretty lean profile. You get zero fat, less than a gram of carbohydrates, and a pretty solid 90 calories per serving. You also have a blend of digestive enzymes in there to help aid in digestion. And as mentioned, it's launching in fruity flavors instead of your more traditional chocolate vanilla. There'll be 3 when it arrives in Arctic Cherry Blast, Orange Dreamsicle, and Lemon Berry Blizzard. So again, very different from your traditional taste, very fruity, very awesome. And again, that'll be available this week in the 119 serving tub size, or at least that's the only size I've seen so far. And I would say tuned on the MuscleTech website. They tend to launch stuff there first, but again, I'm not entirely sure how the rollout of this one is going to be. Our last 2 stories revolve around 2 brands. The first one is one of my personal favorites in Dedicated Nutrition. Now, if you haven't heard of Dedicated Nutrition, these guys, they're pretty much all over Europe. One of the biggest, most reputable brands out in Europe. They launched in the US recently, but they don't have the same lineup as you get in Europe. Now, the European lineup is pretty damn extensive. They have protein, they have post-workout, they have creatine, they got sleep, they got the whole, pretty much all of them, like most brands. But in the US, it's a little more compact. They got a pre-workout amino. They've just bought their protein powder, their protein bar in, which is one of the best tasting bars released this year by far. Very much like one of my other favorites, the Barbells protein bar, but they don't really have the variety of flavors. but the quality and smoothness and taste and sweetness is all there. Anyway, the news we have from Dedicated Nutrition revolves around two new products. Now, the first is a product called VasoGrow. Now, this is a product that's been available in Europe for a while, in fact, years, and it's even gone through a couple of reformulations. And this past week, the brand brought that product to the US. The formula is a little different, however, but still kind of revolves around the concept that it promises to deliver just better muscle pumps. It's a capsule formula, and it's a slightly different formula, but it does still contain a good amount of NO3T nitrates, which is a signature of the original VasoGrow in Europe. You get 1.5 grams, and half a gram of that is citrulline nitrate. The other gram is arginine nitrate. But do keep in mind, this product they suggest using it twice a day. So I think it's like one serving in the morning, another during workout. So it's technically over the day you'll get 3 grams of NO3T, a gram from citrulline nitrate, 2 from arginine nitrate. Agmatine's also in the mix, along with norvaline and estrogen for absorption. As for the other product, this one is actually a little more intriguing because Dedicated hasn't really revealed everything about this one just yet, but they showed enough to get me damn excited. Now, as mentioned, Dedicated launched a protein bar earlier this year, then just recently brought it to the US. They're now teasing a second protein bar. Now, this is going to be different. It's going to be different from that crisp bar that I was just talking about that delivers on softness, flavor, sweetness. We don't know really kind of what the point of difference is, nutrition, but the teas that they've shared suggest that it is going to have like a nice chocolate feature to it. But the more exciting part is that they've previewed and teased this bar with candies, like actual like Reese's Pieces little bits candy. So we're all left wondering or thinking that this is going to be something like a candy piece or candy bar, candy infused protein bar, which is we've seen a few times, or not a few times, very, very rarely over the years, but this would be kind of one of the first big ones I've seen. Again, we don't know if that's what it is, but their teaser features, protein bars and then Reese's Pieces bits. So one has to assume that either that's involved or it's in there or whatever. But based on the picture, they're kind of pushing more candy bar feel flavor on this one as opposed to the crisp, which again was a great bar. So if this one is kind of intended to be more candy bar like or candy bar-esque, it's going to be a solid bar. Dedicated, again, much like Cellucor, as I mentioned, Dedicated does move pretty quickly with teasers and launches, so I imagine more information on this will be coming soon. The brand is also teasing this bar for both Europe and the US, so it'll be one of their very first international launches. That was the case with the crisp bar, although the crisp bar launched in Europe before it hit the US. But so this one sounds promising. Again, I liked the original, so I'm pumped for this. We're big fans of functional food. The amount of functional products we've seen this year has been insane. So this looks like it's just going to keep the ball rolling. Hopefully we see it before the end of the year, just to add some excitement. But so the last story we have is in regards to an all-new brand. Now, we were introduced to this brand at the Olympia. We got very little information. They just basically said that they're coming out with 4 products. A 5th is in the works, and this brand is 13th Floor Sciences. Now, it's a brand new company, just hitting the market in a couple weeks. You can now pre-order on the site, which is why we're sharing them this week. The pre-order opened up earlier this week. They have, like I mentioned, 4 products. A 5th is in the works. The 4 that they've started out with is Legion, a pre-workout, Slayer, a fat burner, Kaiju, the testosterone booster, and Sandman, the nighttime product. And the one that's in the works is Force Feed, which I believe is some sort of like anabolic, like GDA type thing. They've been pretty vague on that, but it does seem kind of like in that area. We'll share more details, obviously, when that comes out. But for now, the main focus is the first 4. You can now pre-order them all. The brand is also running like a bit of a sale where you can get 31% off all of the products. And shipping is going down in 2 weeks, but the formulas look pretty solid. All of them look pretty well-rounded, pretty substantial. The brand hasn't kind of, gone the weaker route, I guess. The pre-workout's loaded with stims. The sleep supplement I can actually attest to as well. So we actually got the chance to try a sample of that, and we can tell you that that thing is pretty damn powerful. We had the chance to run 2 samples, I believe. 2 samples? Yeah, 2. And it just knocks you out. And it, like, I've had some supplements that are built more for that knockout effect rather than the keeping you asleep kind of thing. But that, yeah, it was just powerful as hell, I can tell you that. And you did wake up a little sluggish, a little bit like lethargic, like fatigued, but at the same time, that wasn't one of the benefits they promised. It just seemed to be like a spin-off of that intense knockout at night. But again, very powerful product, and if their other stuff is anything to go by, they should be one powerful brand. And again, they got a lot coming, so it's not just these first 4 we're going to see a few more in the coming, I suspect, in the coming months, next year even. But you can read about the entire brand on the site. Just go there, type in 13th floor, that's 13 with the numbers, 13th, and we have links to breakdowns of all the products and formulas and whatnot. And again, they have a coupon code to help you get 31% off. Odd number, but I think it's meant to line up with their name, 13th floor. But once again, thank you for tuning in. As always, we appreciate it, and we look forward for you to tune in next week.